Well, happy Wednesday. Wednesday's here again. And welcome to Quick Bite History Live, where we do our best to have a little fun with history. You can catch us live normally each Wednesday and Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time for you on the West Coast. We have a challenging show for you here tonight with 3 fresh new categories all rolled up into one remarkable game show. And as usual, you'll be watching our robots paint, listening to my clues, and then making your guesses. And tonight we're going to first count down the top 20 most infamous world tyrants in history. Then test your knowledge with 20 notable women in U.S. history. And then finally, we will explore the top 20 figures in world space exploration history. So, kind of different categories. Half are easy, half are hard. Good luck. And if you all stick around, we do have a bonus round available later for the super hardcore people among us. Now, please do check in, say hi in the chat. Hey, I see somebody over there. Rhombus is already here, and so is Arena. So anyway, I guess we're ready to go. What do you guys think? Ready to go tonight? Let's go. What are we going to do first again? Let's see. We're going to do most infamous world tyrants. So that should be interesting. Let's fire it up. Go. Gotta love that new intro. Now, you know the rules. The robots do the painting, you do the guessing. I give some clues along the way. In this case, we're doing a countdown, so it starts off harder and gets easier. First up, this ruler claimed his colony as a personal possession, not a national one. Cool. The exploitation under his rule involved forced labor to harvest natural rubber. He is responsible for one of history's deadliest colonial regimes. He killed millions. What a rat. His actions were in the Congo, and they were kept secret from most of Europe for years. Nobody knew. He was ironically celebrated as a philanthropist during his lifetime. Anybody know who this is? The hard one. Hard start. I'm going to give you a clue. He's from Belgium. Belgium. This is Mr. Leopold II of Belgium, 1835 to 1909. And yeah, under Leopold's rule, an estimated 10 million people perished in the Congo Free State. Wow. All right. Well, now you got the mood. Number 19. You might know this guy. This leader's infamous Green Book was meant to guide his ideology. He ruled for over 4 decades despite numerous attempts to overthrow him. His regime supported international terrorism, including the Lockerbie bombing. So there's your key clue. He had a penchant for flamboyant dress and eccentric speeches. Who knows who this is? You guys know. You guys know who this is. His rule ended in a violent uprising during the Arab Spring. Hey, Stuart. Yeah, you got it. Hillary got it. Yeah, Hillary got it. That's right. Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi, 1942 to 2011. Gaddafi's bizarre diplomatic antics earned him the nickname the Mad Dog of the Middle East. There he is, the Mad Dog. All right, you got the idea now. World tyrants. Down to number 18. This leader was trained as a bird guy, ophthalmologist. I don't know what that is. Ophthalmologist. You know what that is? I don't know what that is. Before becoming president. I don't think it was a bird guy. His rule has been marked by devastating civil war since 2011. He is accused of using chemical weapons against civilians. There will be no laughing during this round. This is deadly serious. International sanctions have isolated his regime. And I don't think our robots know that he has been overthrown recently. His father ruled the same country before him for 3 decades. I think you know who this is. He just got overthrown. What country, first of all? We know. Anybody know the name? This is Syria, of course. And this is the guy that just got overthrown. His name was Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad. Born in 1965. Still alive today. Bashar's rule has displaced millions. All right, now this should be confusing. This dictator was often depicted as a godlike figure in propaganda. His tenure saw one of the world's worst famines in modern history. Correct. How do you say your name now? Veteran Kaya. We'll say Kaya. I like that. That's easier. Kind of looks like Chairman Mao. His regime's policy of isolationism earned his country the nickname Hermit Kingdom. He was succeeded by his youngest son, who's the next guy on our list, who continues the oppressive legacy today. So this is the dad. What was the dad's name? Kaya had the first name, but what's the whole name? Anybody know? Oh, there you go. Rhombus. You got it. That's definitely correct. Kim Jong-il. This is Kim Jong-il. 1941, and he passed in 2011. So there you go. There's the dad. There he is. Looking sharp. Looking dapper. I'm not supposed to say that, I suppose. All right. This leader famously met with a U.S. president during his tenure. Gets along with him very well. His regime has been, he gets along with the basketball player too. His regime has been accused of countless human rights abuses. He is known for purging close family members and advisors. That's not very sporting. His nation boasts one of the largest military parades in the world. Yes, very good. You guys are all getting this one. Rhombus has it correct. Stuart has it correct. More close. More or less. I would have given him credit. He leads the world's most secretive and isolated nation. And yes, this is Mr. Kim Jong-un. Not Kim Jong-il. This is Kim Jong-un. Born in 1984. And of course, still alive today. Kim Jong-un's reportedly developed his persona from studying foreign dictators, including Stalin. There you go. Got to learn somewhere, right? Got to learn from the best. All right, we're down to number 15 on infamous leaders. And we go all over time, just to give you an idea here. This Roman emperor was an accomplished musician who famously played the lyre. I think that's the way you say that, right? The lyre, L-Y-R-E. I think that's the way you say it. He is rumored to have fiddled while Rome burned, although this is debated. He persecuted Christians using them as human torches in his gardens. Well, I'd say that's persecution for sure. His extravagant spending nearly bankrupted the Roman Empire. Yes, you have the correct answer. Romulus was first. Caius got it as well. He reportedly ordered the murder of his own mother, Agrippina. Remember that story? Oh. Ooh. Yeah, yes, you guys are correct. This is Nero. Nero, 37 to 68 AD. Not long. Nero participated in public performances, something considered scandalous for Roman emperors. There you go. He was one of the first ones, though. Couldn't have been that scandalous yet. All right, this is a bad guy. This leader studied in Paris and was inspired by Marxist ideologies. He renamed Cambodia Democratic Kampuchea. His regime emptied cities, forcing people into labor camps. Nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population perished under his rule. This is gonna be a dark category, guys. Dark. You're correct. BG. That is correct. His group, the Khmer Rouge, targeted intellectuals, even people who wore glasses. Uh-oh. I would not have done well there. You are correct. This is Mr. Pol Pot. Pol Pot. Heck of a name. 1925 to 1998. Pol Pot. Pol Pot's radical policies are often cited as one of history's most devastating social experiments. Mr. Pol Pot. We're down to number 13, fortunately. We'll see if we can get through these guys. This leader rose to power through a military coup in 1973. His regime introduced non-liberal economic reforms with significant inequality. He is known for mass arrests and the torture of political opponents. And here's the key clue. Ready? He ruled Chile for nearly 17 years, maintaining martial law. He stepped down after losing a referendum, but remained influential. Does anybody know this one? Who is the guy in Chile? Do you remember? Can't remember whether this was the CIA plant or whether this was the guy that the CIA helped get rid of. I'm not sure. I think this is the guy that the CIA put in there. They usually go the wrong way, right? Anybody remember? Nobody remembers, huh? Yeah, Nixon's buddy. Sure, of course. His name was Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet's government operated Caravan of Death. Those were death squads to eliminate the dissent. Oh, the Caravan of Death. Nice. Okay, let's move across the world. He served as the Prime Minister of Japan during World War II. He was one of the architects behind the attack on Pearl Harbor. One of the architects. His government sanctioned forced labor and comfort women in occupied territories. He was executed after being tried for war crimes in the Tokyo trials. Yes, correct. BG. You are correct. Oh, Stuart has it as well. Hey, do you guys remember his first name by chance? It's the same first name as a current pro golfer. How's that for a clue? His era saw atrocities like the Nanking Massacre and Unit 731 experiments. Sounds bad. Anybody remember his first name? Same as the... No, but hang on to that answer. That may come in later. Hey, Happy. Hey, John. This is Hideki Tojo. Hideki Tojo attempted suicide shortly after Japan's surrender, but was revived so they could stand trial. Oh, about that, a little side story there for you. All right, next up, another bad guy. This is number 11 on our list. This leader came to power after a brutal civil war in his country. He established a regime of censorship, propaganda, and repression. Don't they all, though? Don't they all? His government was officially neutral during World War II. Thousands of political dissidents were executed under his rule. Remember who this is? His leadership ended with his death, transitioning Spain to a democracy. The Spain guy. This is the Spain guy. Anybody remember? The Spain baddie. Yeah, Stuart's got it. That's correct. Francisco Franco. 1892 to 1975. Franco allowed his monarchy to be restored, grooming Juan Carlos, here's the Juan Carlos I, as his successor. There you go. Juan Carlos was his successor. I think you'll know this guy. He's a baddie. He is known as the Butcher of Uganda. He expelled Asian communities from Uganda, crippling the economy. His regime is blamed for hundreds of thousands of deaths. Anybody remember this? He reportedly practiced cannibalism, though this is disputed. Well, at least it's disputed. Right? He lived in exile in Saudi Arabia after being overthrown. Anybody remember who this is? Yeah, you've got it. You've got it, Stuart. Stuart has it. Hey, what's up? Hey, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Who knows who this is besides Stuart? Remember his first name? Oh, yeah, you got it. John's got it. Idi Amin. Idi Amin. Idi Amin's erratic behavior included declaring himself the conqueror of the British Empire. There you go. Speaking of bad guys, this ruler established Russia's first secret police. Well, let's see, that was called the Oprichnina. Oprichnina. There you go. Oprichnina. He expanded Russia's territory through brutal conquests. He famously murdered his own son in a fit of rage. Sounds like a bad guy. Correct. You guys are getting it. Good job. BG. You got it. His reign included the massacre of Novgorod. Novgorod. I can never figure out which syllable to emphasize in the Russian cities. Novgorod. His unpredictable behavior earned him a nickname highlighting his brutality. And yes, you've got it. This is Ivan. Ivan the Terrible. Ivan's reforms included centralizing power, and it laid the foundation for the Russian Empire. There you go. Ivan. We're down to number 8. Famous baddies. This leader rose to power through the Ba'ath Party in Iraq. He carried out genocidal campaigns, including the Al-Anfal genocide. Never heard of that, but okay. Yes. You guys know who this is. It's because the robots are so good at painting him. That's why. His forces invaded neighboring Kuwait in 1990. Yeah, they did. He used chemical weapons against civilians. Not a good thing. He was captured by U.S. forces and executed in 2006. There he is. Saddam. Not a bad rendition. It's pretty good. Saddam Hussein, 1937 to 2006. Saddam's personality cult was so pervasive that his image appeared on nearly all Iraqi currency. And remember, everybody in the army and everything looked like him? They all did their hair and mustache and everything the same. You remember that? Anyway, kind of funny. Not that any of this is too funny, but you know, gotta find humor where it exists. Now this one's a little more obscure. Let's see you get this. This leader was one of the most prominent figures of the French Revolution. He was a key architect of the Reign of Terror. Doesn't sound good. Thousands were guillotined under his Committee of Public Safety. One way to say it. Hey, you know it. BG. How'd you know that? Very good, BG. He justified executions by saying they protected liberty and virtue. He was executed by guillotine, lived by the guillotine, died by the guillotine, marking the end of the Reign of Terror. Robespierre, or however you say it, Robespierre. Radical ideals earned him the nickname the Incorruptible. Anybody know his first name? Robespierre. Anybody know? It kind of looks like Beethoven, I suppose. Maximilian Robespierre. Maximilian. There you go, Max. Well, we're all the way down to number 6 coming up now, and we're jumping across time again. This was the guy right before Nero, I think. This Roman emperor began his rule with popularity, but quickly became infamous for his cruelty. He is rumored to have appointed his horse as a priest. His reign was marked by erratic behavior, that sounds erratic, including public executions for amusement. He forced senators to fight as gladiators and confiscated their property. Yes, correct. Everybody's got it. Rhombus, BG, Stewart, Grenade. There you go. You all got it. Caligula. Caligula reportedly built floating palaces, elaborate ships with marble floors and gardens. Wow. Well, that sounds kind of cool, actually. Floating palaces, marble floors, and gardens. Nice. But at least he didn't use Christians as the torches in the garden, like Nero. Right? So, there's that. We're down to number 5. We've got the top 5 most notorious baddies in history. This leader's policies resulted in one of the deadliest famines in history, known as the Holodomor. Holodomor. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but I'm trying. Holodomor. He initiated the Great Purge, eliminating millions of perceived enemies. His regime forced labor camps, known as gulags. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's got it. We're going to count yours, Stuart, even though that doesn't sound quite right. Yes. Everybody knows this is Papa Joe. His cult of personality dominated Soviet life with propaganda glorifying him. Yes, indeed, this is Joseph Stalin. Stalin's paranoia extended to rewriting history books, erasing political rivals from photographs. Nice. Stalin's made quite a few appearances here on Quick Bite History Live. I believe this might be his 7th or 8th appearance. Always a popular choice. Speaking of popular choices, we're down to number 4. I couldn't get any of the AI generators to help me illustrate this gentleman today, though. He served as a soldier during World War I before rising to political prominence. His book, Mein Kampf, outlined the ideology of Aryan supremacy. His regime orchestrated the Holocaust. He started World War II by invading Poland. That's right. Anyway, yeah, even Grok, even Elon Musk X GPT thing wouldn't draw Hitler for me. I had to go to a deep dark one. I had to go to the dark web. That's right. This is Mr. Adolf Hitler, 1889 to 1945. Hitler's propaganda machine revolutionized mass communication techniques and still studied and repeated today. There you go. Yeah, he loved the cult stuff, didn't he? Yeah. He wanted the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, right? Interesting. Interesting cat. We're not supposed to say that, though. There is one narrative. Number 3. This leader's great leap forward resulted in one of the worst famines in history. His cultural revolution led to mass purges and prosecution of intellectuals. He founded the People's Republic in 1949. Yeah, everybody knows this guy. Everybody knows these top guys. It was those more obscure baddies that were harder. His Little Red Book became a symbol of ideology and authority. Isn't Little Red Book the name of the alternative app to TikTok now that's also from China that all the influencers are signing up for? Little Red Book? I think so. His policies caused the deaths of tens of millions, reshaping China permanently. Mao is correct, of course. And what's Mao's last name? Mao's last name. Hey, Aaron's in the house. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Glad everybody's here. Prince, John Doe. We're always glad to see John Doe. Good night. Everybody remember the last name? I like to say it. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. Zedong. Mao Zedong. We're down to number 2. Number 2 baddie. This ruler is remembered as a national hero in Romania. He earned his nickname by impaling tens of thousands of the enemies on stakes. His brutal methods were used to defend his kingdom from the Ottoman Empire. He was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah, everybody knows. This is him. This is the guy. The inspiration for Dracula. He often displayed the impaled bodies of enemies as a warning to invaders. That would be a warning. Vlad the Impaler, 1431 to 1476, excuse me. Vlad's birthplace, Timisoara, is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a popular tourist attraction. Sounds like it would be, although they have to reenact all the bodies on the stakes, right? Doesn't sound very Disney-like. Doesn't sound like a tourist attraction on the Disney level. Your Uncle Ernie, really? Looks just like him. Number one with a bullet. He united the Mongol tribes, creating the largest contiguous empire in history. His conquests were often marked by complete destruction of the cities and populations. His empire introduced innovative military strategies and governance systems. He is credited with enabling the Silk Road's development. Not the internet site, the Silk Road. That's the guy that they let out yesterday or today. Different Silk Road. Fostering trade across Asia. Everybody knows who this is. Yes. Everybody's right. Who got it first? Looks like Prince might have just beat out Rhombus. It's on your internet speed, of course. His campaign led to the deaths of millions, earning him a fearsome reputation and our number 1 spot on Quick Bite History Live. Genghis Khan's genetic legacy is so vast that an estimated 16 million men are his direct descendants today. Wow, how about that? Genghis Khan, 1162 to 1227. There you go. Well, you guys were pretty good. Hey, Jojo. You guys were pretty darn good at the most infamous guys in history. Why is that? Why were you so good at that? You knew them all. All right, let's go ahead and head for our next category. It is, we're going to bring it down a notch. This is 20 both are notable women in U.S. history. So here we go. Glad to see lots of ladies in the house. Maybe they'll give the guys a chance. You know rules. Robots paint. You guess. I give some clues along the way. And once again, this category is going to be top 20 notable women in U.S. history. Kind of different. Everybody's got a little special talent. She was a glamorous Hollywood actress in the 30s and 40s. She worked on a secret wartime invention to aid the Allies during World War II. Her patented frequency hopping technology became the basis for modern Wi-Fi. How about that? She was posthumously inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Despite her brilliance, she is often overshadowed by her acting career. There you go. Anybody know who this is? She would invented the thing that became Wi-Fi. Nobody knows? Glamorous actress, 30s and 40s. She made the frequency hopping technology. No, it kind of looks like Ava Gardner, though, doesn't it? But it's not Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner's hot. Definitely. This guy's good looking too. This is Hedy Lamarr. Any of that sound familiar? That she was a secret inventor? Hedy Lamarr. There you go. Okay. You learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live, I'm telling you. All right. Next up, number 19. She was the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress. So there's your key clue. She campaigned for the Democratic presidential nomination. She actually ran for president in 1972. Her slogan, "Unbought and Unbossed," highlighted her independence. She was an outspoken advocate for gender and racial equality. Her legacy paved the way for women and minorities in politics. That sounds kind of a generic clue. Anyway, first Black woman elected to Congress, ran for president in 72. Anybody remember who that is? I remember her. Of course, I'm old. It's like Maxine Waters, but no, it's a predecessor to Maxine Waters, for sure. Paved the way for Maxine Waters. I guess I'm old. I remember her. I remember when she ran for president. I do. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, correct. Anybody remember her last name? It is Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm. That's not familiar at all. Shirley Chisholm broke countless barriers, inspiring future leaders like Kamala Harris. Okay, number 18. She worked as a nurse during World War I before taking to the skies. In 1932, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Cool. Her mysterious disappearance sparked one of the greatest aviation mysteries in history. Who knows who this is? She was a trailblazer for women in a male-dominated field. Yes, correct. You have it. Stewart and Rhombus. Rhombus's spelling is a little more accurate. It's not the British version. Her plane vanished during an attempted flight around the world. So yes, indeed, you guys seem to know that it's Amelia, with an A, Amelia Earhart. E-A-R-H-R-A-R-T. Anyway, Amelia Earhart was a strong advocate for women's independence, co-founding an organization for female pilots. There you go. Number 18. Oh, that brings us down to number 17 next. Number 17. Go back in time a little bit, back to the 1800s. She helped organize the first women's rights convention in Seneca Falls, New York. She co-authored the Declaration of Sentiments. That sounds interesting. Advocating for women's suffrage. She worked closely with Susan B. Anthony to advance women's rights. Her radical ideas extended to challenging religious justifications for gender inequality. Sounds like a rebel rouser. She laid the groundwork for the 19th Amendment. So this was one of the most important people. Does anybody know who it is? Anybody studied women's history? We have any women's history majors? Anyway, she worked with Susan B. Anthony. Nobody knows. Oh, yeah. You knew. How'd you get that? Lisa. Elizabeth Cady, C-A-D-Y, Stanton. There you go. Stanton's boldness in demanding equality influenced generations of women activists. There you go. Who knew? Now we know. Very good. We learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live. Next up, number 16. She was the first Southern Black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Her 1974 Watergate hearing speech captured the nation's attention. She broke barriers as a lawyer, politician, and a professor. Anybody recognize this guy? Her speeches often invoke the U.S. Constitution as a framework for justice. She was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This is fairly recently. First Southern Black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Anybody remember? Picture's good, too. No, Whoopi was never in there. And it kind of looks like Barack's mom, but no. This is Barbara Jordan. That sound familiar to anybody? Barbara Jordan, 1936 to 1996. Barbara Jordan's powerful oratory skills. She was a good speaker. I can see her talking in those hearings right now. Earned her a lasting admiration across political lines. There you go. Number 15. 1860 to 1935, to give you some dates. She co-founded Hull House, Hull, in Chicago to aid immigrants and the poor. She was the first American woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. There's a key clue, probably. Her advocacy spans social reform, peace, and women's suffrage. She was a leader in the settlement house movement. I don't know what that is. Maybe you guys do. Her work inspired progressivism in the early 20th century. Yeah, you got it. You guys, very good. Good job. Awesome. You knew. This is Jane Addams. Jane Addams, 1860 to 1935. Addams helped create the first juvenile court system in the U.S. Sounds like a real lefty. I'm joking. This is a neutral field here. We don't take sides. Yes, correct, Eric. Jane Addams. Correct you are. Next up, number 14. This lady escaped slavery and became a traveling preacher. She delivered the famous "Ain't I a Woman" speech in 1851. She fought for both abolition and women's rights, both. She met Abraham Lincoln and advocated for land grants for freed slaves. Cool. She was a dynamic orator despite being illiterate. Couldn't read, but she could sure talk. Anybody remember who this is? Ain't I a Woman? Freed slave, escaped slavery actually. Met Abraham Lincoln, advocated for land grants. I think you have it, Lisa. I think Lisa has it, although the spelling is questionable. I think you have it. Correct, Aaron. Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth, 1797 to 1883. Truth speeches inspired audiences with their authenticity and unwavering courage. Yes, indeed. Now, I think you'll know this next one. She was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1981. She was often the swing vote in pivotal cases during her tenure. Her decisions advanced gender equality and individual rights. She retired in 2006, dedicating her time to civic education. So yeah, she did retire relatively early compared to most judges, most Supreme Court judges. Yeah, JoJo. Correct. Not Nancy. This is no Nancy. It might kind of look like her, I suppose. Not as much hair dye. Yeah, Sandra Day O'Connor is the correct answer. Sandra Day O'Connor, born in 1930. And it says she's still alive. It's cool. I don't know. She didn't pass, did she? Sandra Day O'Connor grew up on a remote Arizona ranch, learning resilience early in life. There she is. Farm girl. Country girl. Sandra Day O'Connor. We're down to number 12. She was the first American woman to travel into space in 1983. She worked as a physicist before joining NASA's astronaut program. She co-founded a nonprofit to inspire young women in STEM fields. Her shuttle missions focused on scientific research and satellite deployment. Yeah, you got it. You are correct, Lisa. She remains an icon for breaking barriers in the space industry. Yeah, there she is. This is indeed Sally Ride. Sally Ride. 1951 to 2012. Sally Ride's historic flight aboard the Challenger inspired countless young girls to pursue science careers. Yeah, there you got it too. Kind of looks like her, right? Robots didn't do too bad. Pretty good. Sally Ride. So you got the idea of the category now. We're all over the map, but these are all women who played an important role in U.S. history. She was an author whose writing influenced the abolitionist movement. Author. Her most famous novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, highlighted the horrors of slavery. Abraham Lincoln reportedly called her the little lady who started the Great War. There you go. So I never related to it quite that way, but it's her fault. This is her fault. Her book became one of the best-selling novels of the 19th century. She continued to write about social justice throughout her life. Yes, Lisa has the first two names of the three-name person. There you go. And Stuart has the first and the last name. Very good. Got to see you're hanging in there, Stuart. You're not tuning us out on this one. I was afraid you'd just tune this one out. That's correct. Harriet Beecher Stowe. Harriet Beecher Stowe. It's her fault. It was all her fault. There you go. That's my takeaway. Number 10. This little lady was brought to America as an enslaved child and educated by her owners. Yeah, I don't think ChatGPT would draw her for me either. She published her first poem at the age of only 13 years old. Her poetry often reflected themes of freedom, religion, and morality. I didn't know this gal at all, so maybe you guys do though. She was the first African American woman to publish a book of poetry. Her work gained recognition in both the United States and in Europe. Anyway, she was brought to America as a slave. Her first poem was at the age of 13. Anybody have any idea? 1753 to 1784. Anybody know who this is? She had a relatively short life there. Too bad. 31 years old. This is Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Phyllis Wheatley. Wheatley corresponded with prominent figures of her time, including George Washington. Interesting. Next up, number 9. She became the first woman to serve in a U.S. cabinet position as Secretary of Labor. She played a key role in shaping the New Deal policies. So, Secretary of Labor as in workforce, not in having babies. Not that Secretary of Labor. That's a bad joke. Sorry. She championed workplace safety reforms after the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. She was instrumental in creating Social Security. She was real important in creating Social Security. Her policies laid the foundation for modern labor rights in America. Yeah, you guys know. How'd you know that? Jojo, Lisa. And yeah, Jojo, I see you had it way up there. Yeah. The previous one kind of looked like Sally Hemings, right? From what the pictures they've drawn of her. Yeah. Anyway, yes, correct. Frances Perkins. Perkins' leadership directly improved conditions for millions of American workers. Obviously, she worked in the Roosevelt administration. Next up, you probably know this name. She lost her sight and hearing as a toddler due to illness. She learned to communicate through sign language and reading Braille. She attended college and became a renowned author and speaker. Yeah, you got it. BG. Her advocacy spanned disability rights, women's suffrage, and social justice. Who remembers her teacher's name? You guys remember her teacher's name? I remember that as part of the story. I don't know if I read a book that she wrote or how I know this, but anyway. Who remembers her teacher's name? That taught her the sign language and the Braille and stuff. This is Helen Keller, of course. You are correct. Helen Keller, 1880 to 1968. But her teacher's name was Anne Sullivan. Anne Sullivan. She was central to her success. Yeah. Keller co-founded the ACLU, inspiring generations with her resilience. Yes, indeed. You guys all got that. Good job. Next up, number 7. We're getting down there. Only 7 more. She earned the nickname Angel of the Battlefield during the Civil War. She provided medical supplies and organized care for wounded soldiers. She founded the American Red Cross in 1881. Wow. Her humanitarian work extended to disaster relief across the country. She continued her advocacy well into her 80s. Correct, Jojo. Jojo has it. That's right. Angel of the Battlefield. Clara Barton, 1821 to 1912. Barton's tireless efforts made the Red Cross a vital global organization. I think that's what I remember learning about her from, as the founder of the American Red Cross in 1881. Clara Barton. There you go. She was number 7. And we are down to number 6. Next up, here we go. This gal was a marine biologist who became a best-selling author. Her book, Silent Spring, raised awareness about pesticide danger. She is credited with launching the modern environmental movement. This is the gal that did it. Her work directly led to a nationwide ban on DDT. Now, DDT was the thing that was killing off all the pelicans in California. And I don't know if you know, but the pelicans have made a complete recovery in California, and they're very cool, flying up and down the coast over there. Awesome. They go up and dive down for the fish. It's incredible. She faced fierce criticism from chemical companies, but remained steadfast. Yeah, you got it, JoJo. Did you major in women's studies? Not that that's a bad thing. That's good. In this category, you seem to know them all. That's right. Rachel Carson, 1907 to 1964. She sounds like she was important. Carson's writings continue to inspire environmental activism worldwide. Rachel Carson. There you go. Number 5. I think you'll know this lady. She redefined the role of the First Lady, championing, I can't say that word, human rights and social issues. So some words you just can't say. I don't know what it is. She served as U.S. delegate to the United Nations. She chaired the committee that drafted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Her radio broadcasts and newspaper columns reached millions of people. And she was an advocate for racial and gender equality. No, you weren't a major in, no? Okay. Who knows who this is? I think it's an excellent depiction by the robots here. Everybody know who this is? Yeah. Lisa's the first answer I see on the board. There's Stuart. All the way from the UK. That's right, Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt was nicknamed the First Lady of the World for her global humanitarian work. Eleanor Roosevelt, certainly on the top 5. Women in U.S. history. There you go. We're down to number 4. Here we go. She escaped slavery and returned to rescue others via something called the Underground Railroad. This is the Underground Railroad lady. She was nicknamed Moses for leading hundreds to freedom. During the Civil War, she served as a spy, a nurse, and a cook for the Union Army. Good to have 3 skills. She became an outspoken advocate for women's suffrage after the war. She planned redesign of the $20 bill that would feature her image. Oh, a planned redesign. Excuse me. She didn't plan it. But I don't know why that didn't happen. Maybe that should still happen. That sounds like something Trump could make happen tomorrow by executive order. Harriet Tubman could be on the $20 bill starting tomorrow. Let's go. LFG, let's go. Tubman led military raid that freed over 700 enslaved people during the war. There you go. That must have been the spy job. There you go. We're down to the top 3. She co-founded the National Women's Suffrage Association with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Her tireless efforts contributed to the eventual passage of the 19th Amendment. She was arrested for voting in the 1872 presidential election. Well, that'll get you arrested. Her portrait appears on the U.S. dollar coin. I think I have a few of those. Do you have a few of those? Yes, correct. You guys got it. Jojo, Lisa, you guys know. Do you have any of the silver dollars that are the Susan B. Anthony silver dollars? I got a few of those. She campaigned for abolition, labor rights, and equal pay for women. Susan B. Anthony, 1820 to 1906. Anthony never saw women gain the right to vote in her lifetime, but she did lay the groundwork for the future success. Susan B. Anthony. We're down to number 2. This lady was a Supreme Court justice for 27 years, known for her sharp dissents. She co-founded the Women's Rights Project at the ACLU. Her legal work advanced gender equality across many fields. Yeah, you guys know. You guys all know. She became a pop culture icon. Did you know that? And what was she known as? What's her pop culture name? You might know what her. It's not Judge Judy. It looks like Judge Judy, but it's not Judge Judy. This is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of course. But what was her pop culture name? Anybody remember that? It's pretty cool. I remember. It is Notorious RBG. That's not familiar to anybody? The Notorious RBG. Ginsburg was the second woman to serve on the Supreme Court and inspired generations of women lawyers. There you go. We're down to the list. She was a key advisor to her husband, President John, during America's founding. Her letters provided critical insight into early American history. She famously urged her husband to remember the ladies in shaping the new laws. She championed education and property rights for women. She raised a son who also became a U.S. president. Who's this? She's one of only 2 ladies who have had both a husband and a son as president of the United States. Can you name the other one? Or can you name this one first? And who was the other one? Correct, Jojo. You have it. Who is the other first lady? Yeah. Mitch knows. Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush, yeah. Had both a husband and a son as president of the United States. Abigail Adams. She made it to number 1 on our list. How about that? You guys did awesome at that category. I appreciate all you guys playing that category. That was awesome. We have one more main category going here. Next up is going to be top 20 figures in the world space exploration. So space people. Does that sound right? Space people. Are you guys okay with that category? You guys survived that one? Not your favorite, but you liked it. But you did okay. Okay. Here we go. Let's do some space stuff. Here we go. Where's the new vice president from? He's from Ohio, I believe. He's hillbilly. Hillbilly. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. This astronaut became the first African American to travel into space in 1983. He flew aboard the space shuttle Challenger on the STS-8 mission. His career includes over 6,000 hours of jet pilot experience, and he holds a PhD in aerospace engineering. So I guess he was the guy that would have had to go out and fix the thing while they're in space. That doesn't sound good. His milestones help diversify the face of space exploration. So does anybody remember who the first African American to travel in space? 1983? Yeah, I think you do know the name. That's good, Lisa. I think you pronounce his name Guion, G-U-I-O-N, and his last name is Bluford. So that's a mouthful. Guion Bluford. Yeah, Guion. Yes. Guion Bluford's historic flight marked a turning point for representation in NASA's astronaut program. There you go. Guion. Number 19. This astronaut holds the record for the most cumulative time spent in space by an American. So not just an American woman, any American. She's got the most hours in space. She was the first woman to command the International Space Station. So I guess they got to have a captain when they're in the space station too. Her career with NASA spanned over 35 years. She spent a total of 665 days in space across 3 missions. They left her up there, I guess. So she got stuck. Those guys are still stuck up there right now, right? That supposedly Elon's going to go get them pretty quick here. They went up in the Bezos, or no, they went up in the Boeing spaceship, and Elon's going to go get them now. Correct. You guys have the correct answer, Lisa. Very good. Peggy Whitson. She has a nickname called the Space Ninja. I don't know why, but anyway. Whitson holds the record for the longest single space flight by a woman. 289 days. There you go. Next up, number 18. Now, these aren't all astronauts. They're just important people in space exploration. And this guy was important. This rocket engineer worked for both Germany and the United States. He led the development of the Saturn V rocket that powered the Apollo mission. His early work included the V-2 rockets used in World War II. He played a key role in launching the United States space program. Anybody remember something called Operation Paperclip? That's where the CIA stole all the Nazi scientists. We got all the Nazi scientists. Yeah. Yes, correct. You guys know. He was instrumental in achieving the first moon landing. And this is Werner von Braun. Werner von Braun, 1912 to 1977. Despite his controversial past, von Braun's innovations revolutionized rocket technology. There you go. Werner von Braun. Werner was number 18 on our list, so we're down to number 17. She was the first woman to travel into space. 1963. Her mission aboard Vostok 6 lasted nearly 3 days. She was chosen for her skill as a parachutist before becoming a cosmonaut. Yeah, with those first Russian things, it was good to be a parachutist as well. You never know when you had to jump out. She orbited Earth 48 times during her historic flight. She later became a prominent politician in Russia. Who knew? Yeah, Lisa. Lisa knows. Yeah, we got a lot of famous women tonight, don't we? This is not a U.S. woman, though. This is Valentina Tereshkova. She, like I said, she later became a politician. Tereshkova remains the only woman to have flown a solo space mission. Wow. Tough broad. Cool. I have a wife with a middle name named Valentinova. So there you go. We have that in common. Next up, speaking of Russians, he was the first human to journey into space in 1961. His flight aboard Vostok 1 lasted just 108 minutes. He became an international hero and a symbol of Soviet space achievements. Who was this first guy? His iconic phrase, "Let's go!" inspired future generations of space explorers. Who knows who this was? He was the first human to journey into space, 1961. Vladimir something. Now, come on. They're not all named Vladimir. Yes, Lisa has it. Does anybody remember his last name, though? Yuri. It's well known. It's well known. Nice spelling there, Stuart. Not even close. I don't even think I can give you credit for that. Yuri Gagarin. 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 There you go. Yuri. All right, next up. This is an American. He was the second person to walk on the moon, following Neil Armstrong. That's the giveaway. He famously saluted the American flag on the lunar surface during Apollo 11. He developed techniques for orbital rendezvous during the Gemini program. His autobiography is titled Magnificent Desolation. Yeah, everybody knows. Everybody's got it. Yeah, okay, Stuart, I'll give you credit. Correct. You all know who this is. He continues to advocate for the Mars colonization. Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. How about that connection? Buzz Aldrin. Mother's maiden name was Moon. That was, what do they call that? Divine something. That's unusual. Buzz Aldrin. Correct. Everybody knew that one. Thought it was Trump. All right, next up. Number 14. She was a high school teacher selected for NASA's Teacher in Space program. She trained to conduct lessons from space. Her mission aboard Space Shuttle Challenger tragically ended in disaster. You guys remember that? Do you remember seeing it? I saw it firsthand. It was horrible. Horrible thing to watch. Her legacy lives on through education programs and scholarships in her honor. She inspired the phrase, "I touch the future, I teach." Huh, I've heard that. Anybody remember who this was? What her name was? How soon we forget, right? How soon we forget. Yeah, I know. I don't think I would have remembered it without being the one that creates the game. Yeah, there you go, Lisa. Good, you got it. Krista McAuliffe. Krista. Yeah, Krista. McAuliffe planned lessons were later carried out by other astronauts in tribute. That's cool. So they eventually did the lessons from space. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, sad one. What? But we are exploring space. Things happen. Next up. Her precise calculations were critical to NASA's early space flights. She contributed to John Glenn's orbital flight during the Mercury program. She broke barriers as an African-American woman in STEM. Her story was featured in the film Hidden Figures. Did you guys see that movie, Hidden Figures? I think I watched that in a hotel one night. Hidden Figures. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015. Yeah, Lisa knows. Lisa knows. This is the Hidden Figures lady. She looks different than in the movie, but that was an actor. Yes, Katherine Johnson is the correct answer. Katherine Johnson, unfortunately passed in 2020. Johnson's calculations ensured the Apollo 11 mission landed safely on the moon. There you go. Now, you may know this next guy. You may know him. He introduced reusable rocket technology with the Falcon series. His ultimate goal is to colonize Mars. SpaceX developed the Starship spacecraft for interplanetary travel. There you go. Everybody knows this guy. Shown there on the Martian service. Yes. Musk's vision includes making humans a multi-planetary species within the 21st century. Absolutely. This entrepreneur founded SpaceX, aiming to make space travel more accessible. That's right. Yeah, Hyperloop, everything. Tesla, Neuralink, Boring Company, Hyperloop, Elon Musk. He is a Twitter poster extraordinaire. There he is. Elon himself. Coming in at number 12. So he's not top 10. But he's on the board. He's on the board. Next up, you'll know this guy. He popularized space science through his book and TV series called Cosmos. You remember that? He co-designed the Golden Record sent aboard the Voyager spacecraft. Now you remember that? Who knows what the Golden Record is? Not Bill Nye. Good guess though, but it's not Bill Nye. Yeah, Stuart has it. Very good. Kind of looks like Bill Nye, I guess. Cosmos. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, who knows what the Golden Record is? You guys know what that is? He was a passionate advocate for the search for extraterrestrials, SETI. His famous quote, "We are made of star stuff," inspires millions. My favorite quote, though, is billions and billions of stars. Right? Billions and billions. Carl Sagan, of course. Sagan's work helped ensure public support for NASA during critical funding debates. That's true. He helped keep the money flowing. Absolutely. Carl Sagan. There he is. Looks just like him. Next up. This is an astronaut. This Canadian astronaut commanded the International Space Station. He gained fame for performing David Bowie's Space Oddity in orbit. So he's the guitar playing astronaut. Which gets him to number 10 on our list. He actively engages with the public with accessible space education. His autobiography, An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, became a bestseller. So I think that's probably what he's best known for. And playing David Bowie's Space Oddity while in orbit is second. Yes, you got it. Yeah, and Canadian. Yeah, Rhombus. He's the Canadian guy. Absolutely. Chris Hadfield. Yeah, the Canadian guy. Hadfield's social media outreach from space brought ISS life to millions. There he is. He's the social media guitar playing Canadian guy. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, part of the game. They spell correct. Spell correct is definitely part of this game. Next up. She was the first African American woman to travel into space in 1992. Her mission was aboard the space shuttle Endeavour. She is a doctor, engineer, and passionate advocate for STEM education. She founded a company to develop sustainable technologies for the future. Sounds like checks all the boxes. She appeared on Star Trek, The Next Generation, inspiring diversity in science fiction. Who knew? Yeah, Lisa knows. That's correct. That's almost, yeah, that's pretty much correct. Yes, right. May is spelled M-A-E. You are correct. Mae Jemison, Jemison, born in 1956. She's older than I am. Very few are. Jemison's legacy includes helping underrepresented groups pursue careers in STEM. There you go, Mae Jemison. Learn something every night on Quick Bite History Live. Now this name's pretty familiar. He commanded Apollo 8, the first crewed mission to orbit the moon. So that's the first one that they went out there and went around it. His mission featured the iconic Earthrise photograph. Everybody familiar with the Earthrise photograph? This is the guy that took that picture. He read from the book of Genesis during the Apollo 8 broadcast. Huh. His flight paved the way for the Apollo 11 moon landing, of course. And this is how I knew his name more so and saw him on TV quite a bit. He later became the CEO of Eastern Airlines. Everybody remember Eastern Airlines? Eastern Airlines. Yeah, Lisa knows. Lisa's got it. Yep. Eastern Airlines. Eastern, did that merge and become part of US Airlines? I'm thinking. I don't know. Not American, I don't think, but US Airlines. But then that later merged with American? I'm not sure. Not sure the whole thing. Frank Borman is indeed correct. Frank Borman's Apollo 8 mission was one of NASA's most watched events of the time. There he is. Frank Borman. Next up, number 7. She was the first Indian-born woman to travel to space. She flew aboard the space shuttle Columbia twice. She earned multiple degrees in engineering and aerospace science. That's funny. She tragically lost her life, though, in the Columbia disaster in 2003. Her legacy lives on in India's continued space achievements. So who was the first Indian-born woman in NASA and unfortunately passed away in the Columbia disaster in 2003? Who was that? Anybody remember? She got a cool name. This is Kalpana. Kalpana Chawla. Chawla. Kalpana Chawla. 1961 to 2003. Chawla inspired countless young women in India to pursue careers in STEM. There you go. I think you'll know this astronaut. He did lots of missions. He was the first American to travel to space in 1961. So he's the first one that actually got into what they call space. He later walked on the moon as part of Apollo 14. He was lucky enough not to be on 13, but be on 14. His moon landing included hitting a golf ball. A historic first. Do you guys remember that? Picture of a guy hitting a golf ball? Yeah, you got it. Lisa's on top of it fast. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. He overcame, how do you say this? Meniere's disease? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Meniere's disease to return to space after a decade. Wow, I'm gonna have to look up what that even is. What's Meniere's disease? Maybe you guys can tell me. He was one of NASA's original Mercury 7 astronauts. So this guy was in it for the long haul. Shepard's suborbital flight helped prove the feasibility of human space travel. There you go, Alan Shepard. Yeah, Lisa seems to work for NASA for sure. Definitely. All right. I try to not be political, but this is not my favorite guy. But he's on number 5 on the list. I don't know. There's something about his personality that just rubs me the wrong way. He is a world-renowned astrophysicist science and science communicator. He served as director of the Hayden Planetarium in New York City. His TV series, Cosmos, A Space-Time Odyssey, brought space science to new audiences. He has written numerous best-selling books on the universe. He is a renowned astrophysicist and science communicator. Yes, you've got it. Stuart has it. Correct. Hey, Ghost Town, what's up? Good to see you. His humorous and relatable style makes science accessible to all. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson famously advocated for Pluto's reclassification as a dwarf planet. Does that mean he was for Pluto being a planet or against Pluto being a planet? That could make or break him with me. Down to number 4. This gentleman is considered the father of modern rocketry. Rocket to me. His pioneering work focused on liquid-fueled rockets. He developed the first rocket to achieve controlled flight. It's important, right? 1926. This goes back a bit. His innovations were critical to later space exploration efforts. His theories were initially ridiculed, but later vindicated. So this is an important guy, and he goes way back. He is considered the father of modern rocketry. There you go. And he developed the first rocket that could actually be controlled. Robert is correct. Yeah, there you go, Lisa. Robert is correct. It is Robert H. Goddard, 1882 to 1945. NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center is named in his honor. There you go. Who knew? Now we know. There he is. Robert Goddard. All right, we're down to the top 3. This guy was named the chief architect of the Soviet space program. So let's get our Soviet space experts on board. He led the launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. Now, I was born right about the same time that Sputnik went up. Like, it was the same year, for sure. He oversaw Yuri Gagarin's historic spaceflight. He was in charge. He was the Wernher von Braun of Russia. His identity was kept secret during his lifetime due to Cold War tensions. So that's why we never heard of him. His innovations helped win the early space race for the USSR. And yes, they were ahead, weren't they? Does anybody have any clue who this is? Because they kept it a secret. So only the power of AI are we able to determine this guy's importance. Only with the power of AI. This is Sergei Korolev. Korolev. Sergei. Korolev's contributions earned him the title the chief designer in the Soviet Union. There you go. We're down to the top 2. This gentleman was the first human to walk on the moon. His famous words, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, are iconic. He piloted the lunar module with precision to ensure a safe landing. I guess that was pretty sketchy, right? He had to take over manually and land that thing so it didn't land in the crater or something. That was pretty sketchy. He was known for his humility despite his historic achievements. That's correct. Everybody knows. A nice depiction by the robots, I think. It's kind of a young Neil Armstrong, which is good. His career also included test piloting the X-15 rocket plane. You guys remember what that X-15 looks like? That's something else. It's like this super sleek black thing that looks like a missile. I guess he flew that. Armstrong's lunar boat print remains preserved on the moon's surface. Armstrong's lunar boot print. I'm sorry. That makes a lot more sense. Armstrong's lunar boot print remains preserved on the moon's surface. All right, number 1 in the space category. He is often called the father of modern astronomy. His telescope revealed Jupiter's moons and Saturn's rings. That sounds important. He supported the heliocentric model, challenging the church's geocentric view. He faced house arrest for his scientific beliefs. His work laid the groundwork for centuries of astronomical discovery. Stuart has it. Copernicus is always a good guess. But they're saying the telescope and discovering the moons of Jupiter and the rings of Saturn were important to the modern thinking of astronomy, I guess, or bringing it to the masses. Right? Galileo, and what was Galileo's last name again? Galileo Galilei. I love that. We're going to see him again. I like to say his name. All right, we guys did pretty darn good on that one too. We've had some fun tonight. We have. So, as usual, I do need a thumbs up or a thumbs down on a bonus round. Do you want to know what the bonus round potentially is first? The bonus round would be, if we do it, 20 most infamous horror movie villains. 20 most infamous horror movie villains. So we're looking for the characters generally on this. Now, so I see, I've already got 2 thumbs up, I guess. There's a 3rd thumb up. Guess we got to do it. Twist my arm, make me do it. Okay, let me load up that file here, guys, and we'll get going. No messing around. You know the rules. Robots paint. You guess. I give some clues along the way. We start off either easy or hard, and we get either harder or easier. Hard to predict. All right, this is probably our most unusual villain right here. She is known for her obsession with a particular author and his work. These are horror movies, remember? She lives in an isolated snowy cabin in Colorado. She has an innocent, cheerful exterior, but a very dark side. She often uses phrases like dirty birdie instead of swearing. You remember that? Yeah. You got the movie. You may remember either the actor or actress or the character's name, which is always the hard part, right? How do you remember the character's name? It's always hard. Misery is correct, of course. It's a Stephen King story. Is that what I'm remembering right? I'm not sure. Dirty Birdie. Famous for a horrifying scene involving a sledgehammer. Yes, there is a horrifying scene. This is Annie Wilkes. Annie Wilkes, yeah. That's the character's name. Annie, there she is. Whew, scary. Now, this next one's a little weird because you don't actually see the character during the movie except for a little flash. And so I'm showing you the little flash. A mysterious organism that can imitate any living being. Well, that's weird. First encountered in a remote research station in Antarctica. Its true form is never fully revealed, adding to the terror. Yeah, you got it. Very good, Rhombus. You know your horror. Its true form is never revealed. Can only be identified through a blood test. Huh, I didn't know that. The villain in a classic sci-fi horror movie directed by John Carpenter. There you go. And yeah, it's called The Thing. Kurt Russell, right. There's Kurt. Good looking guy. I don't think you actually ever see that. I don't know. I don't know where that picture came from. The Thing introduced audiences to the horror of distrust and isolation, adding a new level of paranoia in horror films. There you go. You'll know this guy, but you got to remember his name. A writer struggling with alcoholism and anger issues. He takes a job as a caretaker at an isolated mountain hotel during the winter. It's been cold here, let me tell you. He begins to experience supernatural occurrences at the hotel. Known for his descent into madness and the iconic line, "Here's Johnny." Okay. Great. Jack Nicholson. And Rhombus, you're correct. His actual character name is Jack something. Anybody remember what Jack's last name is in the show? Or, oh yeah, Matt Maddow has the show, The Shining. That's correct. That is correct. Maddow has it. And here's Donnie. Jive at 5. Hey, Gary. Yeah, Stephen King was the writer. Jack Torrance. That sound familiar at all to anybody? These character names are always hard. Jack Torrance. There you go. We're down to number 17. Let's see you get this character's name. A young girl who begins exhibiting strange and frightening behavior. She starts speaking in strange languages and showing unusual strength. She displays an unnatural aversion to religious items. She does. She's known for an infamous head-turning scene. Yes, there is an infamous head-turning scene. It's kind of a close-up. It's kind of a scary close-up. The victim of a demonic possession that led to a harrowing exorcism. So yes, Gary, Stewart, you guys have the movie. It's The Exorcist. Now, how about either the girl's name or the demon's name? Who has either the demon that possesses the girl or the girl? This is the original Exorcist movie. And the girl's character's name was Reagan McNeil. And then the demon somehow was named Pazuzu. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, Zozo. Pazuzu. Exactly. Next up. I never saw this one. A sinister entity posing as a nun. despite not being human. She first appeared in a spin-off based on the Conjuring series. Known for her unsettling stare and ghostly presence. Associated with eerie church settings and dark rituals. Well, The Nun is correct, yeah. Wasn't that even the name of the movie, right? The name of the movie was The Nun. And the character had a name, though. So I don't know if you know the character's name. Was it Angelica Houston? Linda Blair was correct for the previous one. Yeah, The Exorcist. Definitely. The Nun was also called Valak. Does that sound familiar to anybody? And it was something called the Conjuring series. And so The Nun was one of the shows. Yeah, there you go. I didn't see it, so can't profess for it. I did see this one though, and this was scary. A vengeful spirit associated with a cursed videotape. Those damn videotapes. Victims die 7 days after watching her tape. She's known for her long dark hair covering her face. That's correct, the movie. Yes, you guys have the movie. But now, you got to come up with the character. Good luck. She crawls out of a well and even out of televisions to reach her victims. Yeah, spooky. Her presence is marked by static and eerie visuals. Does anybody remember the name? I don't see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. Amelia. You got it. You definitely got it. Are you related to Abigail Adams? We had Abigail on a minute ago. Samara Morgan is correct. Yes. Samara's curse has become a modern legend, blending technology with folklore for a haunting effect. Yes, indeed. Next up. Known to appear. Well, I can't even see this one. Can you guys see that? It's kind of dark. I guess they're all dark. Known to appear when his name is spoken 5 times in a mirror. He has a hook for a hand and bees associated with his presence. He's once a talented artist before he was unjustly murdered. He haunts a particular Chicago neighborhood. Yeah, you guys know. You guys know that one. Excuse me. That's right, Candyman. This is the Candyman, and that is the character, of course. So you did good. you got the name of the show and the character together. Makes it easier, doesn't it? Candyman represents the terrifying blend of folklore and social justice, addressing race and revenge within horror. Sounds horrible. All right, let's see if we can get this one. I don't remember this one either. Maybe you do. A dark figure that originates from a disturbing children's book terrifies a single mother and her troubled son. Bad start. Known for his haunting rhyme, if it's in a word or in a look, you can get rid of the blank. Represents repressed grief and personal struggles. Stalks and manipulates its victims' minds rather than their bodies. You guys remember this one? Spooky looking dude, right? But it has a name. And this is kind of the human form of, I think, is this animated? I think this might be an animated movie. Anybody see this? It's called the Babadook. Babadook. That sound familiar to anybody? The Babadook. The Babadook redefined horror as a metaphor for emotional trauma, creating an entity that feeds on fear and grief. There you go. Babadook. Nobody has a clue on that one, huh? Me neither. All right, here we go. This dude awakens every 23 years to feast for 23 days. He's known for his ability to regenerate by consuming human organs. That doesn't sound good. He's recognized by his sinister trench coat and hat. He's often spotted driving a strange old-fashioned truck. Who knows who this guy is? Did you listen to the clues? I hope you heard the clues, because it's not Dracula. Not it. He's often spotted driving a strange old-fashioned truck. His terrifying presence is underscored by the eerie song Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers. That is a terrifying song. This is indeed, yeah, Jeepers Creepers. This is the Creeper, of course. Kind of looks like Skeletor, yeah. This is the Creeper. I never saw it. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not a real horror fan. It scares me too much. I like epic historic sagas. There's a few. And I like sci-fi stuff, all that kind of thing, but horror is not my thing. Who knows who this guy is? He's known for putting his victims through deadly games. He claims he wants to help people appreciate life by testing their will to survive. Not physically violent, but psychologically terrifying. Often associated with a red tricycle riding puppet named Billy. Yes, you guys all have it. So this sounds terrifying. Often associated with a red tricycle riding puppet named Billy. That sounds terrifying, and I haven't even seen it. Famous for the phrase, I want to play a game. I want to play a game. Yeah, and Maddow actually knows the character's name, right? You got it. John Kramer. Jigsaw. There you go. Jigsaw's philosophy brings a new psychological dimension to horror, where survival depends on moral choices. There you go. I'm along the same vein. Leader of a group of sadistic beings known as Cenobites. Originally human, transformed after opening a mysterious puzzle box. Known for his unsettling grid of pins in his head. Correct. Yeah, you guys know your horror stuff. Correct. It is Hellraiser series. And this dude is Mr. Pinhead. Yes. Famous for saying, we have such sights to show you. Oh, that sounds horrible. Pinhead is a symbol of dark allure, of forbidden experiences, creating a unique niche within horror. Or niche. Niche. Niche or niche. Within horror. There you go. We're up to number 9. Or down to number 9. There he is. Pinhead. What a guy. I like the way a lot of these have degenerated into just the name of the character being real obvious. This is a masked killer who taunts victims over the phone before attacking. He's known for a distinctive white mask resembling Edvard Munch's The Scream. Everybody know that painting? Familiar with the painting? Famous painting? The Scream. Yes. But who is this guy? Oh, you have it. Rhombus already have it. Yes, it's the ghost face, of course. It combines slasher horror with satirical commentary on horror movie tropes. There you go. Known for the iconic line, "Do you like scary movies?" Ghostface became an emblem for modern slasher genre, blending horror with self-referenced humor. There it is, the Scream series and Mr. Ghostface. Yeah. There he is. Now we're going to have nightmares. All going to have nightmares tonight. Thank you very much. Quick Bite History Live. All right, this guy's scary. He runs a secluded motel off the highway with his mother's help. He struggles with a split personality, often taking on his mother's persona. Infamously revealed in a twist involving a rocking chick. That's right. Known for the unsettling shower scene that changed our cinema and made us all not want to take showers in seedy hotels. Right? Don't you think twice? You see one of those shower curtains, you kind of... you definitely don't leave the door open. No. You definitely don't. You lock that door. Put something where if it falls over, you're going to hear it. You guys stay in a lot of seedy hotels like me, don't you? I used to. I used to stay at lots of places, traveled a lot. There you go. Norman Bates, of course. I'm sorry, did I not say that? Norman Bates, the Psycho series. Oh, you'll know this next guy. A doll possessed by the spirit of a serial killer. He is known for his ginger hair, overalls, and his sinister grin. He unleashes terror despite his small size and toy appearance. Yes, everybody knows. Now, am I the only one? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the gal who used to be the press secretary of, I think it was Obama and then Biden for a short time. What's her name? Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki. Every time I see Chucky, I think of Jen. I guess I'm the only one. I'm sorry. Did you guys get the name of the movie? Chucky is correct. And yes, Psaki is correct. You may remember the series, the movie series? I don't see the answer up there. It is Child's Play. Child's Play. That's not familiar to anybody? Child's Play. All right, you know this guy. He's a demonic entity that awakens every 27 years to feed on children. Bad start. Often appears as a clown, but can shapeshift into any fear. Sounds bad. He lures children with balloons and a promise of floating. Yeah, that's the movie. And what's the character's name? That's very cool. He's known for his disturbing grin and signature line, "We all float down here." Originally adopted from the Stephen King novel. You know, that's the Frankenfurter connection. It's the actor. Yeah. But what's the name of the character? You guys? Oh, there you go. Lisa's got it. Lisa's got it. She's not quite as good at the horror as she was the astronauts. But Pennywise the clown, of course, taps into primal fears, especially coulrophobia, which I guess is clowns. So, you know this guy. He's a former psychiatrist with a taste for fine wine and fava beans. he's known for his terrifying intellect and manipulative charm. He helps the FBI catch other killers while confined in prison. He is recognizable by his chilling stare and calm demeanor. Yes, of course. This one, it's easy to know the character, right? Very easy. Yeah, absolutely. Anthony Hopkins, correct. And yeah, Silence of the Lambs. So you got the trifecta. You got the movie, the character, and the actor. Very good. Who remembers the character's name that they were chasing? The other diabolical murderer that Hannibal was helping her capture. You guys remember? Buffalo Bill, of course. All right, number 4. We're almost done. 4 more. A chainsaw-wielding man who wears masks made of human skin. Sounds familiar. Part of a family of cannibalistic killers in rural Texas. He's known for his terrifying physicality and grotesque appearance. This guy was actually inspired by a real-life killer. Yeah. Made infamous by his chilling, wordless presence during his debut film. Yes, this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this is Leatherface. So you guys know, and Ed Gein, you guys know all the details on this one. What's up with that? I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna question my audience. I guess I got to do more horror based. We got to do some more horror movies. You guys seem to know this stuff. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ed Gein. You knew it all. All right, top 3. An escaped mental patient who returns to his hometown to stalk babysitters. He wears a hauntingly expressionless white mask. He's known for his slow, relentless approach and silence. He seems nearly indestructible, always getting back up after injuries. Hard to keep him down. He's recognizable by his haunting theme music, especially during Halloween. Yes, everybody knows it is Mr. Michael Myers, who I always get confused with the Wayne's World guy, right? It's not the same one. Right? Halloween, yeah, Halloween series, I guess, for the movies. Michael Myers set the gold standard for unstoppable silent killers, inspiring countless slasher films with similar unstoppable silent killers. Yes. All right. Down to number 2. A hulking figure wearing a hockey mask and wielding a machete. He's known to haunt Camp Crystal Lake, where he drowned as a child. Sad story. His mother originally sought revenge before he continued the legacy. Yes. Yes. Does anybody know Jason's last name? Jason's last name. Stalks and kills camp counselors, embodying the unstoppable force. Recognizable by his trademark breathing and machete-wielding style. He's got a certain style. Yeah. How'd you know that? You guys, you even have the proper spelling. Very good. Rambas and Lisa. Everybody had that. I see everybody had that. Chosen. That sounds like a horror film character. Chosen. Anyway, yes, you're correct. It's Jason. Jason Voorhees. Friday the 13th series. Correct. That leaves number one. So we should all know who number one is already. A burned figure with a bladed glove who stalks victims in their dreams. Known for his taunting humor and terrifying one-liners. Kind of like me. Can only harm people while they're asleep, blending reality with nightmares. He wears a red and green striped sweater and fedora. Like right there. Yes. Yes. What? Nightmare on Elm Street is correct. Freddy Krueger. This is indeed Freddy. He's infamous for his catchphrase, "Welcome to your nightmare." Very good. Freddy Krueger brought an imaginative twist to horror, redefining fear with his haunting intrusion into your dreams. Yes. Sounds horrible. There he is. All right, now we're all going to sleep well tonight. It's late over there in England. Check the locks. Everybody check the locks. It's very cold here in upstate South Carolina, where I live. We didn't get any snow up this far. It stayed down in Florida, but we have cold temperatures. I got the heat lamp out for the chickens. That's how cold it is. Anyway, you guys have a good time with that one. I hope. I as always super appreciate everybody hanging out with me, and we had some fun tonight. So hopefully we'll do it again. I haven't picked any categories for next week. If anybody has any super clever ideas, post those in the chat. No snow or frost in southern England, huh? Well, that's good. My buddies in Southern California told me it was 80 degrees there today. So it was, it never made it above 25 here. So it was never made it above freezing today. And I'm in South Carolina. Very strange. Rock bands. We got to do the rock bands. You're right. We got to do more rock bands. How about hair bands? We'll do hair bands. What else we get besides hair bands? 90s? Maybe we'll do 90s. Well, like, I don't know. 90s is like what? Guns N' Roses and that kind of stuff. 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. Rock bands are good for sure. Let's do that. What else? Anybody got any other ideas? 90s foods. Do 90 foods. You want me to do 90 different foods? That'd be a long, boring one. 90 candies. How about a marathon? You guys up for a marathon sometime soon? We'll do like 3 hours of this. We did one and people hung out. Couldn't believe it. We'll do 3 hours sometime. I don't know when, but we'll do three. We'll probably start an hour early to do the 3 hour one. Anyway, okay. We've had enough. Again, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I'm going to say goodnight and turn on my promo thing here. And we'll see you later. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.